Hello everybody and welcome to another video presented by Sean Bodine, giving you trains, games, parodies, and more. In this video, we're going to be playing a game that also has trains, Blue Train with Friends on Roblox. Now yesterday I was trying to do this version, the future update test, but as you can see here it's been private, and that is probably because the update's been done, and looking at all these pictures, I like what they've done so far. Especially this one. This one's my favorite right here. You got the close-up of Toby and it's like, I warned him not to do this. And Percy's like, Thomas, why the hell do you have to be so incompetent? Now obviously they wouldn't swear in the TV show, but that would be funny to hear them say that to each other. So now we're going to be joining my private server right here, and then we're going to be taking a look at some of the changes done to Blue Train with Friends. These 6 look the same. Let's take a look at some of the freight cars here. They kind of look the same. I don't remember this one though, so that might be new. These cars are different though. I remember these well wagons, they were entirely green. Now you can see here they've got some wood here and there's silver, or not silver but gray. I like how they look regardless. Let's head over to Knapford then and take a look at the engines over there. I think we have to go this way. So I remember when this yard was on the other side of the station. It used to be all the way back there. And then I saw how this was being done in the future update, and I thought to myself, this would be nice. We got some more space here to shunt cars, do whatever we have to do, and we get more trains roaming around. What the fuck? Murdoch, please be patient. I'm fine with being patient, but this needs to be thrown into a dumpster and set on fire. Everything else looks fine though. You've got Harvey, Diesel, as I like to call him, douchebag, because that's pretty much how he behaves. Now, when I first heard of Albert, I got him confused with Alfred, a green 460. If you remember years ago, he was in a fan video where he tries to kill Gordon and everyone else on Sir Topham Hatt's Railway for some reason. And Wilbur, everyone should know who this guy is named after. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot about that. I didn't know that was a thing. But anyways, if you don't know who Wilbur's named after, Christopher Audrey created this character in one of his Railway series books. And he was named after his father, who created the original Railway series stories between 1945 and 1972. Audrey, if I remember correctly, or Christopher Audrey, he started writing his stories in 1983, and I think the last one was published in 2011. I don't know what the hell is going on with this here, but I'm not trying to get over there anymore. I want to try and get to Farquhar. What we're going to do now is... Oh, damn it. I thought I was going to fall through the map. I hate when that happens sometimes, because if you do it too quickly and it loads too fast, you will fall through the ground and go flying forever and ever and ever, and you have to reset your character. But anyways, we're going to be taking Rosie. We're going to go back to Tidmouth and get the freight cars by the roundhouse. What I want to do first is get rid of this guy. I remember doing that a while ago, but... Oh, here you go. Huh. He's not going away. There we go. Alright. So this here, if you want him to come back for some reason, you have to click on that. But, we don't want him going here because we're going to be going pretty fast. He might fall off and hurt himself. Not something I want to occur. Right now, we're going to take it slow, though, so we don't go too fast and derail. I'm a little disappointed with some of these changes, though, to be honest. I was kind of hoping that these cars would be over here so that you wouldn't have to fumble around with them over and over again to get the brake vans onto the other sides. But it doesn't look too bad. I like the extra variety you have here in the freight cars. Along with this, too, I like how these ratted as well. These cars, I remember, were a lot closer to the sheds, but it's nice to see them here as well. And with that out of the way, let's proceed with our journey to Tidmouth. Okay, so I actually changed the face when I stopped at this one junction, because I had to go backwards to get to Tidmouth, otherwise it would take longer. So when you change the face, some of you might already know this, but if you ever want to change the face, you just click on one of her domes here, and you have a bunch of options. Oh, hang on, I gotta slow down so I can get this switch. And then, if you want to change her face so that she's blushing, you just gotta click on her buffer beams, like that. Sometimes if you're going too fast, though, it won't let you make some of these changes. We'll just take a stop right here, and I'll show you some of the different faces now. So you've got Smirk, my personal favorite. There's also Angry, Annoyed. That one looks really badass. Tired, Wincing. Probably going to be one or two sex jokes in the comments now with this face. And this one's pretty cool. I don't remember seeing Rosie make this face at all, so it's nice to see something original. Laughing's also pretty cool too. I like that. And that. And this. Definitely that. But we're going to keep it at this. I don't like, though, how... I mean, she's got these wrinkles here. I mean, this is probably just me. But... I don't know. I think she looks a bit too old here. What the hell was that? It's like Rosie tried going to outer space or something. Which is funny, because I was just thinking about how I have this certain theory about engines on Sodor, like how they're built brand new, and this theory also does include some of the original stories written by Reverend W. Audrey, or Wilfred. So, pretty much, since the first stories were written in 1945, I thought it'd be interesting to have Season 1 take place in 1945, and pretty much every other episode is 39 years in the past. So, Season 5 with 1998, some of the episodes there take place in 1959. But in order to bridge the gaps between some of the seasons, since there were a few years between filming, like Season 2 and Season 3, there's like 5 years between those episodes. I thought it'd be nice to have some episodes take place in different years. But with the engines themselves, I don't do this rule for all of them, but there are some engines where when they make their first appearance, I like to think that's a Topham Hatt had them built brand new in some engine shop on the island that you never see. So it's nice to see some kind of mystery on how these engines are built. Because sometimes certain things, it's best not to know about them. And I bet you some people feel the same way about the Star Wars original trilogy and like the prequels. Like, this is not what we wanted to see. But anyways, Molly, I like to think that she was built in 1966. James was brand new in 1945. Emily was built brand new in 1964. These three, on the other hand, these, along with some other engines, I have as exceptions. Obviously, since Edward's old, I like to think he was built in 1895. Henry, 1942, and Gordon, 1944. But now, since Rosie decided to go to outer space, repeat the Apollo mission, I had to go back here and try a different engine. I'm a bit too lazy to respawn Rosie, so we're going to give Lady a try instead. Plus, I have a feeling she's not going to fly off the rails when I jump out of her cab to switch the turntable and do a few other things. But it's also funny that I mentioned Rosie trying to do an Apollo mission, because she was introduced in Season 10, which takes place in 1967. And 1967 was also when they first tried doing the Apollo missions in NASA. Apollo 1, unfortunately, if you remember seeing the Apollo 13 movie with Tom Hanks, Apollo 1 was a very big failure. had one astronaut trying to start the rockets on his ship, but instead of going off to space, the ignition just set off some sparks, there was a fire, and nobody could get out. And I want to say that the astronauts in that ship survived, but according to that movie, they said that there was no way to get the door open for them to get out, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they died. One thing, though, I have to be honest, though, with Lady. Back to the other thing that I was mentioning earlier about how other engines weren't built brand new during their introduction. I like to think that Burnett Stone had her constructed in 1938, and they had a happy life together, doing whatever they wanted, and then somewhere in the 1950s, Douchebag 10, or Diesel 10, again, I like to refer to him as a douchebag, because that's pretty much how he behaves, but he and P.T. Boomer wrecked Lady during a chase, and she was rebuilt, and then pretty much all the events you see in the Thomas the Magic Railroad movie took place in 1961. But I do have to be honest, while I do like some of the changes to her here, I don't like how small the cylinders are. Just something about their appearance on this model looks weird. Let me just stop here, and I can pull up a picture for you on Google so you can compare this model with how it was originally in the movie. Yeah, so you see here, I can understand why some of the changes were made on the Roblox model, but when you take a look at this picture here and you see the cylinders, they're not as low to the ground as they are here. I mean, maybe they are, but I still feel that they should be placed higher, like the lower part here should be a little higher. And they should be a bit bigger in general. Like, again, as you see here. But this is interesting. I like this picture too. That's pretty cool. The original model that was in the first Trade with Friends server, I thought looked better than this. I mean, it's still okay. But, again, I feel like the cylinders should be placed a little bit higher than they are, and they should also be bigger. One other interesting thing I noticed is the fact that the brakes are off. I want to see what happens if I turn them on. And nothing's happening. I'm surprised by that. I thought that it would slow the train down. But then again, you don't really need brakes, because when you slow down, you can just let go of the W key or whatever you're using to accelerate. And in some instances, you can hit S to make it slow down even faster. I'll demonstrate that once we get closer to Tidmouth. You can see now that I'm going to let go of the S key so that she can slow down. If I hit W, boom, she came to a stop. You can do the same thing too if she's going forward. Just want to hit that, make sure I'm going straight. Let go of the W key now, hit S, bingo, come straight to a stop. Now I gotta slow down once again so I don't go too fast in this curve. And as I said earlier, I'm just hoping that Lady doesn't try to launch herself into outer space like Rosie did. We'll stop right here and spin the turntable around. Looks a little bit like it's out of alignment, but we should be okay. Yeah, that's good. We can go a little faster now that this track is straight. First, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to stop here so I can make some changes to the consist here. We're going to get rid of this brake van, and we're going to have all these cars coupled up to the rest of these freight cars right here. What I want to do, though, obviously, if you're like me, you like to customize many of the cars. I'm going to leave this brown, though. I want to see what other colors we have here. Green looks nice. Blue looks nice, too, but let's see what else there is. Alright, I guess we'll leave it at green. It's a little disappointing, though, how if you miss a color that you really want the car to be, that you have to cycle through the entire list just to get back there. What they should do... I was actually recording this earlier, but my volume from the sound effects was too loud, and my voice could barely be heard in certain parts. So I'm hoping now that the adjustments I made in OBS Studio will fix that problem, and my voice can be heard with the decrease in volume from the engines and other stuff. But you see here how you can change the lamps and put them whatever you want, as opposed to having a big list of stuff or other stuff. They should do something similar with the colors. Like, you click on the roof or any part of the car, and it shows you the list of colors that you want it to change to. I really think they should do that. We're just going to delete a couple of these cars. This looks nice. I don't remember the Sulfan being blue, though, so that's actually pretty nice. Let's see what loads the well wagons have. There's that. I remember that. I remember that. I kind of remember that. The boiler looked a little different, though, before the update. The box fan's new. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm going to guess that's a wood chipper. The tractor's cool, too. I think that's it. Let's give both of these cars then a tractor. And then, for these two flat cars here, once again, we're going to double check all the options we have for the loads here and see what I want to go for. Huh, a car. I don't remember that. Maybe it's because I usually just do the wood. I don't know. But I think this time we're going to keep these two hauling steel. I do intend to film more than one video about this game, so later in the future we'll have a different consist with different loads on those flat... Sorry, I just burped. But we'll do a different consist in the future with different loads on the flat cars. Let's see, that's green. I'm going to keep that there. Blue. I think, yeah, we'll keep this green as well. So now that we got that out of the way, now that we've got the consist that we want, let's couple up to the cars. Honest, I kind of like when it does that because you can have more variety in, well, not more variety, but just more cars in general. This one's going to be blue, and I think, yeah, let's just leave that in its original color for now. We'll add a couple of more stone cars to the consist before we move off to this siding here. One other thing I noticed in the original recording is, they might have changed this a while ago, but I am really glad that when you stand on a switch, like so, it doesn't get switched automatically, because I remember numerous times where I had to go through here in order to get to certain cars as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, the tractor disappeared here. But like I was saying about the switches, unfortunately sometimes, even though you have to get around here to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, there are some times where it simply just switches all by itself and your train derails, which is a really big nightmare, especially if you're building a big consist like I'm about to right now. Okay, I think the switch threw itself there, but thankfully Lady was on there. So if they haven't fixed it, maybe they did a different version where it's not noticeable. Right now, I'm just glad that we got all of our cars in tow without any mishaps. Once we get over the switch here, we will go backwards through the siding, get onto the middle track, and then we can use the switch once more to get the rest of the cars. Let's stop here. I like to sometimes, when you're driving a train, I don't know if all of the engines do this like Lady does, but when you jump out, the train is still rolling, and you can just get certain things done faster. Like, let's say, earlier you might have seen me moving the train forward so I could spawn another car. It's great how it kept moving so I could get more space to make sure it spawned properly without any derailments. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw Lady and Thomas the Magic Railroad as well as calling all engines, I mean, they were pretty good appearances, but I just don't like how she wasn't pulling any trains. So it's nice to have her in this game, and I also heard that somebody is making a custom HO scale model, which I definitely want to buy. I'll probably have to wait a couple more months, though, for the model to actually be finished, or whenever it gets done. Right now, though, I'm just happy to have a working model of Lady. And then also, you can also drive her in some of those Trains games. Or as my friend Thunderbolt 1000 Sirens Productions like to call them, Train Z. Let's just double check here and make sure that all the cars are coupled up without actually squishing the brake van. That's Douglas's job. He murders all the brake vans, especially if they're spiteful and antagonistic. That should be good now. I'm just going to pull forward a little bit here. Nope, we didn't get the brake van. But like I said earlier, this is good because we can add one more car. I like, too, how they have different versions of the Flying Kipper van. Like, you got this van, which we're using right now, and then here, this is an older van that you see in Season 4. It looked like something fell off, though, when it spawned. Alright. Once again, we're just going to use this tool right here to make sure everything's coupled on properly. That looks good. I think we got everything. Let's just have a side view right here and make sure. Alright, perfect. It's good to go. Now we get to watch Lady take off with her freight train. I don't know, this might seem weird to some of you guys, but something about Lady wheel slipping while pulling a freight train, or just a heavy train in general, is just really satisfying. I also forgot they got a new eye tool right here. I find it weird, though, that when you have it set to the speed that you want it to, like if it goes up to 10 and then you set it to 10, it still goes too slow. I also remember sometimes when Lady would haul freight cars or other trains that had set up first, she would do a wheelie, so well, actually she's not doing that anymore. Like, this is not drag racing. Although it kind of looks like that now with Lady spinning her wheels and trying to get them warmed up for better grip. I don't know if that's how train wheels work, but that was a pretty exciting burnout. We made it this far, though. I'm actually really impressed. Maybe it's because of the curve, but we were going pretty slow there, and now we're gaining speed. Will we still slip at this low speed? Okay, yeah. She's kind of still bouncing a little bit, but not to the point where it's gonna derail. Thank goodness for that. That's like the last thing I want. I just hope now that they fix Rosie so that she doesn't launch off the rails when you jump out of her cab. Now let's see what happens now. We're at 12, so we set it to 10. Okay, not noticeable. Probably there is no more slope. Our speed if we go to 20 though? Kinda. We're definitely gonna have to drop off some cars though, so once we get closer to the yard, I will get rid of these two vans here, as well as the other four behind the flat cars. Again, a lot of trains sometimes when they do have to drop off cars, they do move pretty slowly like this, but usually that's because they have to follow a speed limit in the yards. We'll just say that lady's got a restrictive signal and she has to wait for other trains to get out of her way. Alright, so the change to the yards that we saw earlier, not only is it a good thing for us to bypass this bridge and steep slope, we can also drop off some freight cars here so that lady won't have to struggle forever and ever and ever. I mean, I know she's a magic engine, but I guess that doesn't increase her tractive effort. Like, you can have all the magic in the world and she could probably still struggle with a heavy load. But, like I said earlier, I'm impressed that we made it this far. When we get to Gordon's Hill, however, we will have to decrease our load, which is why we stopped here. I don't think that's far enough. So you may be wondering, why am I going backwards if I'm dropping off cars? Well, here's the reason. If your gap is not like this, when you try to pull away, the train will recouple. So maybe there's a certain thing that I'm missing here. Like, I could probably only hit the square on one of these cars to change it red, but I like to change them both red just to be safe. But let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, we're good. We'll just speed up now and put these two boxcars over here. I have to be honest, I'm a little sad that I'm getting rid of the salt fan, especially with the extra variety in colors. Because I remember it used to be beige, gray, yellow, and brown. Let's see what else there is. There's green, there's white, there's gray, lighter gray, brown, red. Alright, that's another cool one I like. And there's that. There's the brown. And that's about it. One thing, though, I have to point out, though. Again, I might be missing something here, but typically, when I try to recouple a train, you always want to make sure that the boxes on both things are red here. But I had to put this to red so that I could get back onto the milk van and move the rest of the cars so we could get these out of here. But maybe... Okay, yeah, that gap's not going to be big enough. It sucks, though, sometimes when you think you have your finger just by accident, and then the cars that you're trying to uncouple end up getting coupled again. That's probably a bit too rough. Let's pull forward just in case, and oh, now she's doing the wheelies. Like I said, this is not drag racing. We're driving trains here, not race cars. Ladies should not be doing that. So that's another thing. Vic Penguin, or whoever's in charge of edits to this game, I advise they fix that as well. See? This is what I'm talking about here. You don't want Lady to do wheelies, because not only is it unrealistic, but it also causes your engine to crash for no reason. This is also why, I gotta tell you the truth, I liked Blue Trains with Friends originally before any of the updates were done on here, but I'm gonna be patient. Hopefully someone will watch this video, they'll let Vic or someone else know that they gotta fix a few things that I showed to you guys, and there's probably a few other things I might have missed out, but like I said, we're going to be doing a few other videos in this game to check out all the wonderful changes and some of the not so wonderful changes. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully I will see you in other videos in the future. Hey guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more terrain related content that's not on my YouTube channel, all you got to do is go onto this website at www.greenfrog.com. Right now, I've only got 3 videos, but I should have a 4th one coming out soon. Also, I do have a couple of comics that I want to get up for sale on Studio Route 29. You can find their website right here, and I should have an update for you guys later by March or April on when the comics will be ready to go. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you later.